The law of assumption asks one thing of you. It asks you to feel the reality of your wish already fulfilled, to occupy the settled, natural, unremarkable feeling of already having what you want, not to hope for it, not to strain toward it, to feel it as done. And here's the problem no one warned you about. That feeling of fulfillment is not only a mental event, it is also a physical state, a specific, measurable condition of your body. And if your body is in the opposite condition, braced, alert, quietly scanning for threat, then no matter how vivid your mental picture, your own physiology will contradict it, and the assumption will not take root. You cannot truly feel that all is well while your body is convinced that it is not. Think of what happens when you are under real stress. Your heart quickens, your breath climbs high into your chest and becomes shallow, your muscles tighten, your jaw sets, your gut clenches. This is the survival state, the fight or flight response, and it is governed by the sympathetic branch of your nervous system. In that state, your body is broadcasting one message to every cell and to the deep, wordless part of your mind that governs belief. Something is wrong. I am not safe. Something is missing. And that message, repeated hour after hour, is the exact opposite of the assumption you are trying to make. You are sitting there trying to convince yourself that you already have everything, while your body insists beneath your awareness that you are in danger and living in lack. The subconscious does not take its orders from your words, it takes them from your state. It is worth pausing to see just how different these two states are, because we often treat them as moods when they are far more than that. They are two entirely different worlds your body can live in. In the first, the survival world, everything is provisional. The breath is shallow, held high, ready to run. Attention narrows and hunts for what might go wrong. The body treats the present moment as an emergency to be survived. And in an emergency, there is no such thing as enough. There is only the next threat to brace against. In the second world, the world of safety, the breath falls low, slow, and full. The gut unclenches and resumes its quiet work. Attention widens and softens, and the body, no longer defending itself, arrives at a feeling it almost never gets to have. This is enough. I am well. There is nothing I need to run from and nothing I need to chase. That second world is the home of every assumption you have ever tried to make, and most people have never remained there long enough to plant anything in it. When your words say one thing and your body says another, the body wins every time. This is why willpower fails here. You can repeat, I am wealthy, I am loved, it is done 10,000 times. But if your nervous system is holding the posture of threat, that deeper mind quietly files your affirmations as wishful noise laid over a body that plainly does not believe them. It perceives the new assumption not as a truth to accept, but as a threat to survival because it is unfamiliar. And the survival brain distrusts what is unfamiliar, so it rejects it and hands you back the same reality you woke up with. This is the biological wall, and I'm about to show you the gate within it. Running from your brainstem down through your throat, branching through your chest around your heart and lungs, and reaching all the way into your gut is the longest nerve of its kind in your body. It is the vagus nerve. The word means wandering because it wanders through nearly every organ that keeps you alive. It is the great trunk line of the parasympathetic nervous system. Where the sympathetic branch is the accelerator, this is the brake. Its condition, how well it functions and how easily it can bring you out of alarm, is one of the most important physical factors standing between your intention and your body's willingness to accept it. When this nerve is active and well regulated, your whole system shifts. The heart slows and steadies, the breath drops lower and lengthens, the muscles release, the gut settles, and your body begins to broadcast an entirely different message. Not danger, but safety. Not lack, but enough. Not something is missing, but all is well. And here is the one thing I most want you to understand tonight. That state of safety, that settled physical ease, is not the reward you receive after your manifestation arrives. It is the doorway you walk through to let it in. Because the feeling of the wish fulfilled and the feeling of a calm, safe, well-regulated body are not two different feelings. They are the same feeling. Peace, sufficiency, the quiet sense that nothing more is required. That is what fulfillment feels like, and it is also precisely what a calm nervous system feels like. Now consider what most people are actually doing when they try to manifest. They sit down to assume their new reality, but they carry into the practice a body still humming with the day's stress, still braced, still subtly afraid. From that anxious place, they reach for the feeling of already having. But a tense body cannot generate the feeling of having. It can only generate the feeling of wanting, of reaching, of not yet. So every session, however sincere, quietly rehearses the very lack they are trying to escape. They are trying to arrive while their body is still running. This is why trying harder only makes it worse. The effort itself is a sympathetic act. The straining is the alarm. The correction then is not more mental effort. It is to change the state of the body first and let the assumption settle onto a nervous system that is no longer arguing with it. Let me give you the practical means to do exactly that, because this is where the concept becomes something you can use tonight. The most direct lever you have over this nerve is your breath, and specifically your exhale. When you breathe in, the heart subtly speeds up. When you breathe out, it slows down and the vagus nerve engages. So the whole secret of using the breath to calm the body is to make the exhale longer than the inhale. Not forced, not dramatic, simply longer. Breathe in for a slow count of 4, then let the breath flow out for a count of 6, 7, or 8, whatever feels natural and unhurried. Do this for even 1 or 2 minutes, and you can feel the shift begin. The shoulders drop, the mind quiets, the edge comes off. There is a faster version for a body that is genuinely overwhelmed. Take 2 short breaths in through the nose, one stacked on top of the other, and then one long, complete release through the mouth. Repeat it a few times and the alarm noticeably softens. None of this is mystical. It is simply the direct physical operation of the brake you were born with. There is a second lever, and it lives in your voice. The vagus nerve passes close to the muscles of your throat, and a gentle sustained sound, a low hum or a quiet tone held on the exhale, creates a soft vibration through that region and encourages the nerve to engage. Hum a few long, low notes and notice the faint vibration in your chest and face. That vibration is you, quite literally, soothing the wandering nerve from the inside. There is also a third lever, subtler than the others, that closes one of the survival brain's favorite doors. The tension of threat lives in the small muscles of the face, around the eyes, and across the jaw. This is where worry hides. This is where the inner critic keeps its grip. So consciously and deliberately let the space between your eyebrows widen. Let the tiny muscles around your eyes soften, as though you were about to smile ever so slightly. Let your jaw unclench. Let your tongue rest. Let your teeth part naturally. When the face relaxes, the alarm cannot fully sound because the face was one of the places it was ringing. You are, in effect, showing your own nervous system the expression of someone who is safe, and the body reads that expression and begins to believe it. These 3 together, the long exhale, the low hum, and the softened face, are not relaxation for its own sake. They are how you tell the body, in the only language it truly understands, that it is safe now, that the danger has passed, that it may finally stand down. Your body does not understand words. You cannot reassure it with an argument. You cannot persuade a frightened nervous system by explaining that the threat is not real, that the money will come, or that everything will be fine. It does not speak that language. What the body understands are cues. It reads the length of your breath, the tone of your voice, the expression on your face, the tension or ease in your muscles. From those signals alone, it decides, beneath conscious thought, whether you are safe. So you do not talk your body into safety. You show it. You give it, on purpose, the exact physical cues a genuinely safe person gives without trying. The body reads its own signals and concludes that the danger has passed. This is what it truly means to teach the body that your new reality is safe. You are not convincing it with words that the good thing has arrived. You are handing it the felt cues of a life in which it already has, until it accepts that life as its ordinary condition and stops bracing against it. And the body that has stopped bracing is a body that will finally let a new assumption in. Now, the 2 halves of this teaching come together into one simple practice, and I want you to do it in exactly this order because the order is everything. First, calm the body. Spend 2 or 3 minutes with the breath, the hum, and the softening. Do nothing else. Seek nothing. Simply remain there until the alarm is genuinely quiet and you feel that particular stillness, not asleep, not striving, just settled and safe. Only then, into that stillness, introduce the assumption. Once the body is neutral, there is no longer a stress signal contradicting the new state. The feeling of it is done is accepted rather than resisted. Gently bring in the scene, the feeling, the quiet knowing that your desire is already yours. Because the body is no longer objecting, that knowing no longer floats on the surface as words. It sinks, it settles. It begins to feel as though the certainty is soaking down out of your thoughts and into your very being, into your chest, your belly, your limbs, until your whole body quietly holds it as fact. I want to be honest with you. No single breath rewrites your biology, and I am describing a felt experience, not a miraculous chemical transformation. But the felt experience is the point, because the felt experience is the state, and the state is what the subconscious records. You have removed the contradiction. Into that clearing, you have gently placed the assumption, and the body has no reason left to reject it. That is the whole of it. Not force applied to a frightened nervous system, but an assumption laid gently upon a settled one, which leaves only one final question: how do you keep it? Because one calm session will not hold if the rest of your day keeps pulling you back into alarm. So let me give you the simple shape of a daily practice. The aim is not one dramatic reset. It is to steadily raise your baseline so that safety, rather than threat, becomes the state your body naturally returns to. Spend a few minutes each morning with long exhales before the day gets its hands on you. Take short recovery moments throughout the day. 3 slow breaths, a softened jaw whenever you catch yourself bracing. Do not allow the old identity to quietly climb back into the driver's seat while you are distracted. Pay particular attention to these small recoveries. The moments that undo this work are rarely the obvious crises. They are the small ones: a curt email, a number on a screen that is not what you hoped for, a passing thought about how things used to be. In an instant, the body tightens, the breath climbs, the old survival state rushes back, and with it comes the old identity, the person who lived in lack, reasserting itself before you have even noticed. If you let that state run unchecked, it quietly overwrites the calm you built that morning. By nightfall, your baseline has slipped right back to where it started. So the skill is not avoiding these moments. You cannot. The skill is catching the tightening early and answering it immediately with a few long exhales and a softened face before the survival state gathers momentum. Each time you do, you teach the body that these small shocks are not emergencies, and each time the old identity loses a little more of its grip. Then comes the most powerful moment of all: the evening. There is a window each night made for this work, the drowsy, unguarded minutes just before sleep. The body is already sinking toward rest. The critical mind has loosened its grip. This is the richest soil you will ever plant in. Do your breathing there. Soften your face there. Let your body become heavy, calm, and safe. Then, right at the edge of sleep, hold the quiet feeling of your wish fulfilled and allow yourself to drift into sleep inside that feeling. What you carry across that threshold with a calm and unresisting body is impressed far more deeply than anything you can accomplish during the bright, defended hours of the day. You are handing the assumption to the deepest part of yourself at the precise moment it is most willing to receive it. Do this, and something quietly remarkable begins to happen. Manifestation stops feeling like a struggle you must win against yourself. It stops being a matter of trying harder, believing harder, or forcing a frightened body to feel something it cannot feel. Instead, it becomes the natural overflow of a nervous system that spends more and more of its time in safety and sufficiency. When your baseline state is peace, the feeling of the wish fulfilled is no longer something you have to reach for. It is simply where you already live. And a person who lives from that place does not have to manufacture the assumption of already having. They have it because their whole body already agrees. So understand what has really been happening all this time. Your body was never the obstacle to your dreams. It was only ever an alarm that no one had taught you how to quiet. A faithful guardian trapped in a warning it did not know how to end. The moment you learn to calm it, to bring it with you into the state you wish to live from, it stops being the wall and becomes the bridge. The stillness you find is not a detour on the way to your desire. It is the very ground your desire was always waiting to be built upon. Calm the body, and the mind will finally be believed. That was the secret all along. Not a louder thought, but a quieter body. And in that quiet lives the simple, settled physical certainty that what you seek is already and safely yours. If this message helped you see manifestation in a completely new way, take a moment to subscribe to Stories in Quotes B and turn on notifications so you never miss our weekly deep dives into Neville Goddard, timeless wisdom, and the hidden principles that can transform your life. If you found value in this video, leave a like and share in the comments what insight stayed with you the most. Your experiences inspire others on the same journey. Thank you for spending this time with us. Until next time, remember, the reality you desire begins with the state you choose to live from. Take care, stay peaceful, and I'll see you in the next video.